Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are, and happy President's Day if you have off for that. We at RotoWire Soccer do not have off with that, so we are here to cover Champions League strategies for tomorrow's slate. So I am Jack Burkart. Adam Zadroik is kicking it on the beaches of Florida. Must be nice. It's very cold here in Wisconsin. But I'm here with Ryan Belongi, and it's been a while since we've had Luis Pacheco as well on the show. We're here to chop up this slate. Luis, how have things been going for you the past couple months?
Oh, it's been. The World Cup was nice. Then it was a disaster. Most of the time I just donate money to you guys. It's just a matter of I kind of like having the forward and midfielder. They took away the hybrids position for a while. So that kind of makes it a little bit better to play something out of the blue, but it's been brutal, man. Like the Premier League has a lot more goals than they used to have, so just playing the fullbacks and the set piece taker is not helping me. So not as much sex pieces as before, as with Andrew Lair will say. So
yeah, it was tough scenes. I was bemoaning my Marcus Rashford fade and showdown yesterday to Ryan. But Ryan, how was your Premier League weekend, and how are you doing?
Oh yeah, doing good, thanks. It was a good weekend. I think, I made money both days because I cashed the higher stakes stuff, but it could have been better. Thought I was going to do really well yesterday, but then I didn't play the Spurs wingbacks, which was tough. I just had all United stacks and basically every combination of West Ham Spurs attackers. And then, of course, it was Davies to Emerson. Yeah. I don't know, though. Overall, I'm doing good. Champions League went well last week. Got another King of the Pitch ticket. Got second in the 444.
Love it.
Frustrating. I lost to 26 points from Coble and just like a save at the end to beat me by 1 point. First was 10K. Congrats to Fear the Turtle on 26 points from Coble. But things are going well. Excited about this slate too. The one thing though, I agreed with Luis. I loved when they took away multi-position eligibility, but it's back for this slate.
Yeah, it's back. Yeah.
Don't love to see that, but it's probably most people probably like it, but I was starting to get used to the other way. Anyway.
Yeah, I liked it the other way. I was having some fun. I don't know. It somehow fit how I was thinking about the DFS version of the game, and I feel like
a little bit more
strategy, a bit more boring. Yeah.
That's the thing, man. Like, it's just most of us. We have to be honest here. It's like we play against the same 10, 20 guys every week, and we most of us have the same lineups. It's just a change here and there. So it's just at least having no eligibility helps for the forward power, right? Like, because you don't have to play the wingers with set pieces, you have to be a little bit more creative, right? So, but anyhow, it is what it is, guys. So let's see this late. Hopefully, good for everybody. Champions League it's been random this year after the World Cup, right? Like lots of teams with injured players and especially PSG, right? Like especially Mbappe is kind of like they lose out of gas. Messi injured now, Neymar injured. I know they're not in the slate, but this is one example, right? Like. The teams that seem to do well are the teams that have very few injuries. Napoli is one of them, right? So
yeah, I was about to say, speaking of teams that have very few injuries, I was looking through all the injury reports. So I just want to go through the odds quick. So our first matchup is going to be Napoli, the Terminators of Serie A. They're on an away trip against Frankfurt. And Napoli have a pretty clean bill of health. I think Victor Osimhen picked up a knock, but he made the squad, so there's no worries there. Frankfurt on the other side, their captain Sebastian Rode, he probably won't start. I had to read some German headlines there, but he might come on as a sub later. Then our other fixture is Liverpool hosting Real Madrid. We have Darwin Nunez, who picked up an injury, so he's a questionable right there. And Madrid, this is important set piece wise. Toni Kroos is going to be absent from the squad. Tchouameni is going to be absent as well, and left back Mendy is not in the squad. So we might see David Alaba as a fullback in that fixture. And then if we scroll down quick and we take a look at the odds, these odds are a little bit more conservative than I expected. I know it's a road game for Napoli, but I was expecting them to be bigger than 50% to win. Maybe even a slightly bigger total. I'm kind of surprised that Liverpool and Real Madrid have the bigger total. I'm a bit surprised Liverpool are favored as well. So, Luis, maybe you can help me parse through these odds. What do you think about these teams and these odds kind of going into this slate?
Well, it's just the home advantage. I think that still the bookies get a lot of, factors to that. So I agree with you. I think that Napoli should be a higher favor than they are right now, and Liverpool and Madrid should be more even. I think Real Madrid was in neutral field, they will be favored, right? So, for what we see right now, Liverpool outside of Champions League in Premier League, and it's been tough for them, especially with Newcastle resurgence, right? But I feel with all the injuries they have a forward, I mean, if Darwin Nunez can score a goal, which is a hard thing to do for him, I think, and Cody Gakpo gets in better shape. I mean, he looks a little bit better now, but it's a hard adjustment going from Eredivisie to Premier League. Always been for I don't remember a single Eredivisie winger or that did well in the Premier League the first season, right? I don't you see Anthony, you see Gakpo, even Ziyech. I mean, those guys were gods in Eredivisie and in DFS, and now they barely play. I think Real Madrid is the thing with Real Madrid is Real Madrid play in probably the weakest tournament in Europe right now. La Liga is terrible. So they don't, and without Cruz, they will say, well, it's going to be hard for them to score or try to get over, the Van Dijk, Matip center backs. But, Real Madrid have Benzema, Vinicius in great shape, Vinicius against TAA, good matchup. On the other side, you have Valverde, which helps a lot running the field. And then you have Modric, Modric is probably the best player in the field still at his age. Napoli, nothing else to say. Napoli, right? They have like 20 points over any competitor, and with Juventus, sanction, they're going to run away with the Scudetto. I think the thing with I think with Frankfurt is the symphony. I think, well, my German is not very good, but I think Eintracht means symphony. The symphony of Frankfurt is it's a good counter-attacking team, like every German team. So Napoli usually puts high pressure, and it's they have the speed on front. I mean, I'm not sure they're gonna play Götze in the kind of attacking midfielder position. I think Götze might be a little bit down, so they can just come out a little bit forward. He's a little bit more pace, but that will be the only concern for Napoli. But I feel that if you want to bet Napoli, Real Madrid, and those are great odds to win. So,
Ryan, do you have any additional observations on top of that about any of these teams?
I was surprised at the odds, sort of the same as you. I thought Napoli's total would be closer to 2. I thought just the total in general of that game would be higher than the Liverpool Madrid game. I don't know. I watched Napoli against Sassuolo over the weekend. I've seen them not too much, but at least 5 times this season. I just don't think he's going to be able to cope with those attackers. I mean, Osimhen and Kvaratskhelia have been in incredible form. I mean, $200 million players basically. But I don't think, I think that game has a better chance to, be 2-2 or something. I don't think Napoli's defense is anything special. I think Frankfurt, if they go down early, can come back and score. What I was going to ask Luis and you, Jack, how do you think this Madrid-Liverpool game is going to go? The game flow, is there going to be a lot of chances? Who's going to control possession? I mean, I have an idea, but I wanted to know what you thought.
I mean, I'll start with my first impression of the game. If there was a game I would target to be maybe 1 goal in it, I figured that Real Madrid-Liverpool game would be the one. I know Real Madrid's form hasn't been totally excellent, and they are coming in injured. I mean, Liverpool are the home team, so they'll take a little bit more initiative, but I mean, they beat Newcastle, but they didn't score any goals when Newcastle went down to 10 men. And I know Liverpool do want to be ruthless when they can. Maybe that's a bit of a narrative. So I kind of think a little bit more cagey on that game. Real Madrid are going to want to make sure that they can escape Anfield and have a chance to win at home. What do you think, Luis?
I'm with you. I think for the matchup, I think it's going to be low scoring as well. Their strengths match up pretty well with what they have, right? Real Madrid, the aerial defense is pretty good. So, you're going to have two guys try to cross to Darwin Nunez, and it's not going to go as well as usual. Also, on the other side, TAA is going to have to take care of Vinicius Jr., which is probably one of the most informed players in Europe, right? I'm not even sure. Maybe Klopp might go with Joe Gomez or someone more defensive at right back. I won. Sorry, I won. I mean, I know he hasn't done it in a while. Maybe he just Milner, but the TA Vinicius is a tough matchup, and but Real Madrid usually away from home might be more conservative. Liverpool is younger team, so it will push harder. So, I mean, I like this game to be like, low scoring, and probably Courtois going to be a hero here. So
he always is, isn't he? Why don't we dig into the forward position and start like dissecting the positions and the players and the slate. So if you scroll through for forwards, it's Champions League, so forward dominant constructions are going to be there. We see that Benzema and Osimhen are our two best goal scorers, a little lower goal odds than maybe I would expect, but it's the knockout stages and these are tough matchups. I mean, Ryan, the pricing is Charmin soft on this one, and it's not difficult to afford the heavy hitters, the artillery from Napoli, and even a guy like Chucky Lozano is 6,000. Marco Asensio might take set pieces at 8,200. What do you think of the forward position? What's your impression from the DFS point of view?
Yeah, soft pricing. It's weird, like for cash games. Even for cash games, I mean, my first thought is to just start with Osimhen. I mean, 8K seems too cheap. I mean, it's sort of surprising actually for me to see Benzema with higher goal scoring odds than him. But I mean, who are you going to play for cash games? Maybe Salah. I mean, like I would rather play someone from Napoli. Asensio. I don't know. Like, is he going to play 90 minutes? I don't know. Like, it's weird slate at forward. I don't think like there's anyone with that high of a floor. So I lean towards the Napoli guys for goals.
Yeah, me too. I'm sorry, I lost connection for a minute. I mean, my thing is like I like Osimhen obviously for the price. KK, let's gonna call Kavicha Karshvela, I guess is how you say it. Don't yell at me because my English is not pretty good. Probably my German not pretty good either. So I would like to play either Politano or Lozano, but I'm afraid of the time. Like they might play 60 minutes each, whoever starts. But those are good prices for a second forward. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think it's going to be Osimhen and either Salah, Benzema, or Vinicius? I mean, you can play any of those guys, but given the salaries, but
yeah. What do you think, Jack?
I mean, it's not hard to play whoever you want. You can just click the most expensive forwards and you can put set piece takers at midfield, and then you can still pay up once the defender. Goalie doesn't matter. I said earlier I wasn't too impressed by this Liverpool Real Madrid matchup, so my impression is to just start loading up on Napoli pieces and hope they sort of start laying siege. I did like Chucky Lozano, but the minutes situation that is definitely concerning. I mean, he's not even a lock to start, but it's 6,000. I mean, he might only need to play 60 minutes, but maybe that would be more of a tournament type of construction. That's what I'm seeing. How about Vinicius? So Luis, does Vinicius have like maybe good enough floor even in a lower scoring matchup that you would want to rely on him in cash games? Or I don't know. Go ahead.
I mean, I say you can play whoever you want, but if we're talking about cash, I mean, the case for Vinicius is just is the safety ball for Real Madrid, so he will have a floor, and I would like the matchup against TAA, which have struggled defending, right? So. I mean, the thing is like, do I really want to play the premium over Osimhen? I'm not sure. Even over Karashvela or Salah. Salah at home, I think, is better. So, I mean, if you are banking on a Real Madrid winning away at Liverpool, I mean, play Vinicius and Benzema. But I'm with you guys. I think the most owned players are going to be the Napoli guys because of prices. So,
yeah. I just wanted to say, like, we all kind of agreed about the Liverpool game, but just in general, they haven't really been playing well for a while now, and they have been conceding a lot more chances. We saw them get blitzed by Brighton and even by Wolves, twice by Brighton. Over the weekend, they started well against Newcastle, and then Newcastle went down to 10 men, and we're all over Liverpool. Sort of were unlucky not to score. So, yeah, you never know which Liverpool's going to show up, I guess. But, yeah, I think – oh, and then one other thing. I like Chucky Lozano a lot. I just thought sort of an interesting – I was looking through his game log. Only once in his last 17 games he's had more than one shot. Not even a shot, just a shot. Not even a shot on goal. One time in the last 17 games, which I was sort of surprised by that because I don't know if that's anything, but 17 games seemed like a lot at the start of the season. He was shooting a ton and scoring goals. Yeah. I don't know if something's changed. It seemed to me that he's playing more out on the wing from the few times I saw Napoli when I saw them recently, and Osimhen and Kvaradona were more of a front two sort of at times. But yeah, I don't know, just something I noticed.
Yeah. No, it's possible. I think that Lozano after the injury, he's been coming back gradually and better, but definitely the playing time thing, I think it impacts the players, right? When you're going to be sub, you're going to be the first sub, and it's either Politano or Lozano, you're going to be the first sub. It's hard to, I guess, for them to, do too much. That they just probably just the role than the coach has. And so, yeah.
So, Luis, if Marco Asensio starts, is he going to take half of the corners and then split with Modric?
I think he will take some, and Modric will take the other side. Yeah.
I see. So no monopoly in store right there.
No, in fact, if you ask me, I feel that maybe Alaba might take some this time because there's we'll see.
I've definitely seen Alaba take indirect free kicks. So
yeah.
It makes me think Marco Asensio might be a little bit of a trap, even if he starts. Even if you told me he was playing 90 minutes in cash games, I might kind of just want to bring in Osimhen and Kvaratskhelia, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. What is that kind of where we're left? We're just jamming in Napoli and then looking at the rest of our lineup?
That's what I'm going to do for cash,
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I think there's an argument to be made for Salah as the second forward, just because he's going to play 90 and he takes penalties, and there's not much at forward. It's not something I normally do, but it seems okay to me on this slate.
Well, maybe talk about a tournament point of view then, because rostership is going to be pretty important on a 2-game slate, and you're going to want to script both of these games out. But are we just going to expect the field to jam in Napoli as well? And how could we possibly be a little bit different at the forward position? Thinking from that point of view, I see Randall Kolo Mounty at 6,700. Maybe that's interesting if he gets a goal on the counter. Are we just going to try to get a little bit different elsewhere, or just hope that the field doesn't play Napoli enough? Go ahead.
My question would be: are Salah and Benzema and Vinny Jr. going to be low owned? Are the field going to play Napoli enough? They might be popular, but it's a 2-game slate, and I was thinking maybe they won't be as popular as they should be, even if it's just by 10% or something because of the names on the other from the other teams. But if we knew ownership, we'd be able to give a better answer. I do like Frankfurt though. Yeah, Frankfurt guys for tournaments.
Yeah, as I said, we can just talk about everybody, right? But I like Kolo Muani at that price, especially at home. Frankfurt needs to score goals. They know that. He's the main guy. He's been actually pretty good too. But if I have a bullet for GVP, I will do Benzema and Kolo Muani, or Benzema and Salah, just for the PK upside. And Real Madrid transformed itself in Champions League, and Benzema is just an amazing player, right? So I will, for the PKs, I will definitely play those two. And if you need salary, definitely Kolo Muani. You can put it in the flex, right? But that will be my choices. So I would say Liverpool first, the top guys first, most on, then probably Benzema Jr. And Salah. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I was talking to you guys before the show about the Europa League, and Manchester United were the biggest underdogs, and in larger tournaments, they were still being played. And of course, Rashford scores, miserable due to Rashford. But yeah, I think we can expect some of these more popular Real Madrid players and Liverpool players just to pull enough utilization that I don't have to put on my game theory hat for this one as much as usual. Well, I mean, that's forward for you. I mean, just find all the goals in Champions League. So, we can play some of these forward players in midfield spots. They brought the dual positional eligibility back. But let's talk about maybe our midfield only eligible players. So Tony Kroos will not be there for Real Madrid set pieces, but Piotr Zielinski will be. He looks to take half of the Napoli set pieces. Luis, what sticks out to you about the midfield position?
I mean, it's going to be a lot of Modric, a lot of Zielinski. Every other player is just going to be a GPP play. I feel just to give my favorite. I really like what I've seen from Dani Ceballos at that price. I'm not sure if I can play Kamara at that price, but this seems pretty set, right? It's either Zielinski and Modric, or if you want to be GPP, you play someone else, right? So,
yeah,
you agree with me guys or not?
I pretty much agree. I think Zielinski and Modric are probably the cash plays. I don't think either of them are like great plays or anything. It's not going to surprise me if either of them finish with 5 points, but I think they probably have the highest floor. GPP, yeah, it's in. Dani Ceballos, former Arsenal great Dani Ceballos. I haven't seen him at Real. I like that call.
Surprisingly, he has like a second life now. They like it as the Kroos position. I think he's going to keep it for next year too. So.
Well, can I ask about Dani Ceballos? What type of role is he playing on this Real Madrid team? I played some interleague slates, and he was low priced, and he wasn't very popular. And this surprised me just because he's like a name I know, and I know he has some attacking talent. So, like, what can we expect from him?
He's trying to. I mean, he's replicating Kroos' position. Like the interior left midfielder. He kind of like helps Vinicius have space. So you have to. He moves forward with Vinicius and covers down for the fullback. So Real Madrid left back is not very attacking these days because I have to cover for Vinicius. So kind of like Ceballos is being the balance between what it was Kroos, obviously not at the same talent, but Ceballos has more wheels. So Ceballos is more like a Harvey Elliott, I would say. Think about like a box-to-box midfielder, and he's very aggressive on the ball, so he usually gets a lot of those tackles and false runs, and not as many shots obviously, but because his job now is to cover for Vinicius and just help him create space for him and Benzema. But for that price and the average points he's having per game is pretty decent, right? I mean, the only problem there is I don't think there's much upside. It's good floor, but I don't know what else to play. I mean, everything else seems kind of like
My favorite GPP midfielder in that range is Lindstrom for Frankfurt. I think he's really talented. Take a couple set pieces. He's definitely got a goal in him. Pretty cheap. I like Lindstrom. Wanted to say about Real. We're looking like Asensio's not in the lineup we have on the lineups page. Like if he was, it's going to matter because Valverde, where is Valverde going to play? Is he going to play in the front three or is he going to play in the midfield? I think you're going to want to look for that.
Yeah. Yeah, Asensio will be a good player midfielder, obviously, and
I just mean because, like, what are they going to do? Is it going to be Valverde in the front three or Valverde in the midfield?
Well, it's just it's a false winger. It's the Iniesta position, right? Like it's a winger that actually is not a winger. It's just a guy that just in defense, like 4-4-2 to defend, and then he just have the wheels to go forward. But it's not like a traditional winger. It's not like Dembele or Gapo, right? It's not a guy that has speed, or it's a guy that's going to dribble, or guys are going to cross. It's mostly somebody to support the positional game, so they get some he has the wheels. I mean, Ancelotti likes him so he can have some balance, so Vinicius doesn't have to move back. So
yeah, I mean he's one of my favorite players.
Yeah.
If Asensio doesn't start, I just mean if Asensio doesn't start, I think he's much more likely to take shots and score a goal rather than if Asensio does play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember like last year thinking about Champions League. Luis, you were saying, you shouldn't play Fede Valverde because he was playing this more defensive role. But have things changed for him? I mean, you look at his goal numbers on the cheat sheets and they're quite good. So do you think that he has sufficient upside in tournaments?
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna take this with a grain of salt. I think for La Liga he can score goals, but Champions League's a different competition, right? Like yes, Real Madrid is so dominant in La Liga because we play against there's one play that highlights the level of La Liga today. Barcelona Villarreal, 35-year-old Lewandowski tries to get away from 36-year-old Raul Albiol, and Raul Albiol catches to him. But he still can get a shot, and Pepe Reina, 40-year-old Pepe Reina, saved the shot. So that's the level of La Liga, right? So you got a guy that Valverde is an amazing player. He's a great box to box, and you see him most of his goal. And this is a lot of rambling. Sorry, guys, but so he gave an interview, and he says, "I know that I have an advantage at the end of the first half and at the beginning of the second half because players are tired, and in the second half they are not aware." So most of his goal, he tries to go forward. Like, I don't know if you guys play soccer anytime, but there's always this guy that plays in a defensive role and he goes forward the last 5 minutes because nobody can catch up to him. So
yeah, no,
yeah,
I'm glad. You took the words out of my mouth. Basically, I mean, the reason he's valued at $100 million is because he's better than everybody physically, bigger, stronger, faster, and with more stamina. At the highest levels of soccer, fitness can separate the players. They all have the skill. So especially in the end of games, like I don't think Valverde ever has a floor or anything, but it's not going to shock me if, like Luis said, at the end of the first half, beginning of the second half, or at the end of games, 80th minute, when players are tired. So yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah, it's a great GPP play. I mean, I just don't like the price, but as you say before, I don't think we have a salary problem, right? We just don't have a salary problem.
When you factor ownership in as well, like you don't expect really many people to play him.
Good point.
Yeah, I mean, price just simply doesn't matter on this slate unless you somehow want to play both Liverpool defenders. Then you have to start making sacrifices. I didn't feel like I had to as well.
Yeah.
We were talking a little bit about maybe Frankfurt, the Symphony, as I think that's what we call them. If they were going to be able to play it on the counter attack. So if we're looking at Daichi Kamada, he's a little bit expensive and he might split set pieces. Then you do have Jesper Lindstrom as well, who would be a bit cheaper. So what do we think about?
Is Philip Max not in set pieces? Sorry for interrupting, guys. I mean, I was looking at Frankfurt and I didn't know that Philip Max was on the team. So I guess it's just like a new signing or something. Is Philip Max taking set pieces or not? I'm not sure.
Yeah, Luis, I didn't know that Philip Max was on the team either, but it seems like he's splitting set pieces. Yeah, I just didn't know if it was going to be with Kamada or Lindstrom.
Same. I had no idea.
Yeah, I just saw him last week. I mean, on the weekend, I said, but this guy was in PSV and Eindhoven, right? And before was Pellegrini, which is back in Italy. Hey, it is what it is, right? But hey, maybe Max takes some corners. But I like Kamada, obviously, if you don't have a salary problem. If you go with Frankfurt, I mean, Frankfurt might be a good stack for GPP. I'm start to liking it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense. You can easily pay for Randall Colomani in your utility spot, and you can hopefully try to nail one of these assists, fade Piotr Zielinski. Midfield really seems like the spot that we want to get different in this spot.
Yeah.
So I know Sebastian Rode isn't going to be starting for Frankfurt, and he's more of a defensive midfielder. So who's going to be taking the more defensive role, Luis? Is it going to be? I've seen like lineups where Kamada just lines up there, but I mean, how would you expect them to play?
I mean, it's usually they. I mean, I think there's going to be something similar to the weekend, right? The three center backs, Tula or Tura or something like that on the right, Max on the left. Is Jibril So is kind of like the guy that plays like the defensive midfielder left to right. And Kamara's probably going to move a little bit forward. They play Ndika and Jakic, right, on as a center back. So I feel that it's going to be, So and Jakic playing like the third center back role. So the defender midfielder, so Kamara have like freedom of movement with Lidstrom. So we'll see.
Who's most likely to be subbed off from these attacking players right here? So Mario Götze, he's listed as midfield forward, but he's midfield only. Do we feel good about the minutes of any of these guys?
Just my guess. Like
Lidstrom's out first, right? We'll say Lidstrom out first.
Yeah, him or Kolo Muani, I would think.
All right, well, we can always kind of like
I don't know
all the spreadsheets and stuff. It just kind of stinks if you're going to make a contrarian play and he only plays 60 minutes, so it's just something I'm considering.
It seems like, the Napoli guys are all sub risks too, right? I mean, Napoli minutes are kind of important. I don't know, maybe not as much in the Champions League. I don't know. What do you think about that, Luis? Are you worried about?
I think that they're rotating in Italy because they have so much advantage over the second one, right? But the luxury team or the A team is going to be, Zielinski, Sambo Anguissa, and Lobotka, the midfielder. Usually the guy that gets up is whatever is Lozano or Politano, whoever starts on that side is going to be the first one out. I wonder if he's going to play Mario Rui or Oliveira on defense. I think it's going to be Mario Rui, which is it's bad for us. I mean, well, bad and good. I guess you can play him anyhow. But I don't know. In midfield, as I just say, I'm start to think like it's a good place to look around and find out stuff, right? So just try to get some differential here, some flair. So
yeah. Little flair. It does seem like the spot because Zielinski and Modric seem like just they don't have perhaps. Well, I mean, and either could score a goal. Famous last words, but it seems like their range of outcomes has a lot of duds in it. So compared to the forwards where we kind of just want to jam Napoli, I agree a lot with that. Is there anything worth saying about some of these more like defensive midfielders? I scroll down to the bottom of the cheat sheet, so like Anguissa or Lobotka, any of them like to take a speculative rip on goal, or would that be maybe less than optimal construction?
Go ahead.
I'm okay with one or two of them, depending on your lineup. Like, for instance, if I'm going to play two Napoli forwards, you're going to need them to score, probably. There's going to be assists, probably. So, like, I don't mind Sambo Anguissa. Like, we saw him he ends up in the box sometimes. I mean, he scores goals. He can get an assist. Probably going to play 90 minutes. And it's also just if these other midfielders aren't great, and you're not really taking too much of a chance if there's not that much opportunity cost. So, yeah, I don't mind pairing really any midfielder with one of your forwards.
Yeah, I think Sambo Anguissa might be sneakily higher on than expected because of the average fantasy per match, the FPGs they have. Because at 12.5, people is going to look at it. I mean, not everybody, but some people would. Who is playing in Liverpool? Is it going to be Fabinho and Henderson and Keita? I have no idea, but
I think Bajcetic, who's defense eligible, will be playing as the third midfield there.
So Fabinho will be forward, right? But
will he be?
I guess when I say be forward, might be an interior midfielder, right? Fabinho, I don't know. I think Klopp might try something weird. Maybe Fabinho right back. I just don't know, man. I'm trying to look for hope on Liverpool. It's just hatred for Real Madrid is so high, and it's just try to find a way for them to win. But it's just hard, man. The midfielder, this team is decimated by injuries. It's just nothing to look for. So,
I was thinking, is there an outside chance we could see Camavinga at left back? I don't know.
Yes, it is an outside chance. It depends on how Alaba is feeling and Militao. Is Militao is in good shape? It depends who's gonna. It's gonna be Militao, Rudiger, but if none of them is healthy enough, he will probably do Alaba in center back and Camavinga left back.
If Camavinga plays left back on the side of Alexander-Arnold, I think there's scenarios where you could see a 10-point floor for Camavinga.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah,
that's not going to happen a lot, but it could happen.
Yeah, that side is going to be overwhelmed. Real Madrid knows that, so they're going to try to overwhelm that side. I've given Vinicius a chance, so it's a good point.
Yeah. Well, I think we basically discussed just about every single angle from midfielder right there. It's probably our spot we want to get a bit different in tournaments. So let's move on over to defender. So Champions League really hasn't updated its form prices here. So Trent Alexander-Arnold is 1,300 more expensive than Robertson, which is not like how it is in Premier League whatsoever. On the other expensive end, we have Mario Rui, who splits set pieces for Napoli. Luis, you said Rui might be bad for us fantasy players. What makes you think that?
Well, the problem with Mario Rui just takes away from Zielinski, right? And also, and the problem is like he's expensive for his role. I'm always hesitant on playing Mario Rui because he can give you a good game, but away from home, Napoli might be a little bit more conservative. But you have to play him, right? I mean, it's just. I mean, I would like to see Oliveira better because in that case, I know he's going to be more defensive, and I know that Zielinski is going to have a higher floor. So, but that's my take for fantasy, right? So,
Ryan, what do you think about the defender position?
For cash games, I think the first two in are TAA and Robertson. I think you want to play three defenders, though. I mean, I don't see how you don't play three fullbacks in cash games.
Oh, I disagree this time. Oh my God!
You disagree?
Okay. Ryan.
Okay.
I'm gonna lose all my money. That's
so
great.
I just don't like the floors of, and I mean I do expect Liverpool at home to probably edge possession and have a few more chances and more corners. I mean, the fullbacks, I'm with Louise in general that I don't like them as much in Champions League, but on this slate, I still do. Like, my question, I agree with you about Rui. He definitely has upside and could have a good game, but I think question for me is who's better, Rui or Philip Max? I think there's questions about both minutes. Yeah. Rui seems to be coming off around 70. Again, I don't know if that happens in the Champions League, but they have Oliveira there. I also think in tournaments, if you're playing for Napoli goals, to be in the lead, then I don't know if you want Rui either. I'm not sure how good Rui works if you're playing two Napoli forwards. Just talking about tournaments now. Again, I could be wrong, but I'd almost rather have Philip Max chasing the game if that's how it's going to go. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. Defender's tough, but yeah, I mean, I guess we can argue about three defenders or not.
Yeah. Well, let's do a little bit of a back and forth here. So maybe I'm playing too much Liga MX, but I want to go to war with three forwards in cash games just because I think there's going to be goals in this slate, and Luis like that one. And I don't know. I just think it's a little bit expensive for Alexander-Arnold. I think right now in my utility, I was looking at Kolo Muani or Chucky Lozano. Maybe I should rearrange some pieces a little bit. But there are some spend down options. So spend up once at defender so you could play Andy Robertson. And then you can go 2,800 for Bajcetic, who's going to be playing midfield and might even take a couple shots. I'm not sure how much I'm losing in that situation. And if we're not so optimistic about the Liverpool matchup, I mean, how good are the floors gonna be necessarily? So that's my point of view. Maybe it's not a cash point of view, though. I've been too ceiling focused in cash games lately.
Maybe it is. I don't know. I go back and forth on. Yeah, I can totally see Trent busting and getting subbed, because he can't cope with Vinny Jr. We see it happening. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're right. It's
probably too wild to take to say Trent over Randall Kolo Muani. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I think you might be right, but I also don't think Kolo Muani and Chucky Lozano are great cash plays. I don't know. So I guess maybe we just have different feelings about that. I don't know. All it's a tough decision.
All right, I'm gonna do my hot take now. Hot take.
Yeah.
My defenders are Max and Alaba. Why? I'm thinking if you need a third player, if you're gonna go full Napoli, for example, full Napoli, Modric, and you need a third team, well, you can get Philip Max. Seems like all these dogs have fleas, right? They're all fleas. Honestly, I mean, I don't like TA for what we have talked about. Robertson is similar too, so I'm not sure if TA at home is gonna give me that many points, considering that he's gonna have a tough matchup. Um, and I like Robertson, but Robertson, the difference between Robertson and Mario Rui is not much in my head. So, especially, Robertson going to have to deal with Valverde. Carvajal is terrible. So he's always Real Madrid has found the weakness spot over there. So on the right back. So, but still Valverde helps him. So maybe Robertson over TAA. But if you need a 13, Max or Robertson will be great. I actually think it's Alaba at left back at 4,200. I mean, if Alaba was 6,000, I would play Alaba. It's just Alaba.
Yeah.
It's just amazing at that spot. It's just
Yeah. You're right. Definitely going to change what I said. If Alaba is left back, I will play Alaba for sure. I totally agree.
So,
totally
but
agree.
Yeah, I think if you had the salary, obviously TAA. Between Rui and Max, I guess if you got Napoli, well, get Rui, right? Try to get some correlation there, so maybe you get an assist. And then Alaba, I think I like better the Alaba Max. I mean, I'm not getting in trouble with Max. I mean, Max scares me because the last time I recommended a win back for Frankfurt at home, he played only 45 minutes. So I'm not sure how much time is Max been playing with this team to guarantee a full match. So that scared me about Max. But with set pieces, I mean, should I go Robertson or Max or TAA? I guess I will go with TAA just because I don't like it though. I think TA is safer, but I mean, if I have to put some flair on it, I'm gonna go Max and Alaba. But
yeah, and maybe I feel like I should take back my third forward take, because you should just play Trent over Colomani or Chucky Lozano in cash games, just from a floor point of view. You're competing with a utility slot at that point, but that's why I don't really like it in tournaments, I guess.
I think I agree though. But yeah, Luis bringing up Alaba too. I mean, I think the defenders are good enough, even though they're not great, to play free in cash. Not tournaments necessarily, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm not. Again, I'm not like saying I'm right for sure, or positive that I'm right, but a three defender seems like the play.
Or right, so yeah.
I'm just looking at Philip Max's minutes right here. So 73 minutes this weekend. He played a full 90 against, he played full 90 the week before, and then 70 minutes the week before. So I don't know, maybe 75 minutes. These are the most impossible things. I sometimes think I overestimate like minutes projections, because I'm like, I get like so worried that some guy's going to play 70, 75 minutes. And then I try to, I feel like I get screwed up too often on it. So is it something like 75 minutes we shouldn't worry as much? Ryan, you're on mute.
Yeah, me too, Jack. Me too. It definitely goes both ways, but you don't want to. I've let it screw me up at times as well. Just something I just noticed now, and maybe this has something to do with the odds. I'm sure it does, but these three Philip Max games, 3-0, 3-0, 2-0. Were those all Frankfurt wins? So they won 3-0, 3-0, 2-0 the last three games. I don't know. Is that their form?
They lost to Cologne in one of them.
Oh, they lost 3-0 to Cologne. Okay, my bad. I just saw Philip Max had 10 points and played 90 minutes there. Okay, never mind. I thought they were on the back of 3 straight shutouts. Never mind.
Yeah. So going through this, we talked about the Liverpool guys. Yeah, David Alaba at left back. That's always going to be a pretty solid situation. Anyone in the cheaper range looking out to you? So, like I said, Bajcetic doesn't have enough Champions League minutes to be in here, but at 2,800, I mentioned this earlier about the Liverpool midfielder. who's getting a little bit more forward? Is Jordan Henderson the one who's getting to make the more adventurous runs? I feel like Bajcetic has a little bit of upside, at least at 2,800.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think Fabinho would probably be the deepest, right? I don't know, 2,800. Yeah, seems like a fine play. It lets you get a different construction. I like that. Like you can afford 3 expensive forwards if you want. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
I got nothing to say. I'll try not to raise on defenders, so because of the floors, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it might not matter though. If the defender scores aren't that high, just punting Basetic or however you say his name, Bashetic. It could get you Osimhen, Kvaratskhelia, and Benzema, or and Salah, or whichever 3 you want. I don't know. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Well, what about maybe like flipping a build? So if tournament people are going to bring out 3 forwards, I mean, we talked about the cash construction being 3 defenders. Could we see that there being maybe not so many goals on this slate, and you might want to have 3 defenders in tournaments? Or is that getting a little too galaxy brained, even for a 2
No,
game
I don't think so, Jack. I mean, look who you're talking to here. I'm leaning that way, at least in my higher stakes stuff. I never mind that. Again, we just said we wouldn't be surprised if the Madrid-Liverpool game was 1-0. I think it's fine if people aren't going to do it, especially.
Yeah, I mean, what if Victor Osimhen gets a brace and that's it? I mean,
right.
I'm thinking about game flows that go in this way. Although it's not very fun to play DFS when you're not cheering for goals. Whenever I'm watching a game, my wife comes in. She's like, "Let me guess, Jack, you're waiting for nothing to happen." I'm like, "You bet." If you're just looking to game leverage by construction, though, I think it's at least worth sprinkling in. Not many people are going to be willing to do something that gross, but maybe not many people like to lose like I do. So we'll have to see. Any other takes on the? Go ahead, Ryan.
No, I was just thinking though, with the multi-positions back, you can play forwards at midfielder again, which to me makes 3 defenders a better construction again. I mean, do you know what I'm saying? Because if there wasn't multi-position, you would only be able to play 3 forwards. Maybe you'd have to play 1 at flex. Then you wouldn't want 3 defenders, but you're not really penalized for it anymore.
Yeah, you could play 3 Napoli forwards and probably still even afford Cody Gakpo or Mo Salah in midfield. I haven't looked at the construction.
Right.
You can lean heavy into it.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, let's talk about our favorite segment, goalkeeper. So I believe Alex Merritt, is he 5,200 or 5,300? I put on my notes that I don't want to talk about goalkeeper for more than 1 minute. Ryan, do you have any thoughts? You weren't too impressed by the Napoli defense, so just play whatever doesn't correlate and move on with your life?
Well, yeah, if I had unlimited salary, I'd just play the Napoli keeper because I think they're going to win. But yeah, I don't know. Courtois just smashes every slate, it seems like. I mean, the guy's unbelievable. So I don't mind Courtois either.
Yeah, same here. Meret, Courtois, or whoever fits, but
I mean, so let's just say that there's each of these games ends 2-2. I mean, do we like even playing like a Kevin Trapp, even if we're playing Napoli attackers and just hoping he gets saves? I mean, usually we don't like that correlation in a 3-game slate or bigger, but is that something you're really entertained just to get on a slightly different construction? You're not saving much in salary, to be honest.
No. But I'd be fine with it though. There's definitely, it wouldn't shock me at all if all 4 teams score. Then it'll just be like luck of the draw, which one has more saves.
Luis, you look disgusted by us for entertaining this idea.
I tried to think. I was gonna make that joke. It's a trap, but I decided not to. But
I mean, if you want to play, sorry.
No, I just I don't have any.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not much difference in salary, and you can afford it. So
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, if I'm playing a lineup that has Salah with Benzema or Vinny, I'm playing a keeper from the other game. So I don't mind trap in that scenario.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. That is more than enough time on goalkeeper there. Like, yeah, maybe the price difference isn't enough to get full giga-brained, but we'll just have to see on that. I don't know. Do we have anything else that we want to finish up with? We've kind of sprinkled in with our cash with flair discussion, a lot of flair in there, talking about tournament strategy. But I don't know, any like big picture things from tournaments that we want to be considering. Construction wise, we talked about maybe paying up 3 times a defender. Well, like maybe like contrarian plays. Do either of you see that might be good for larger fields?
I mean, go ahead.
Go ahead, Luis.
In my opinion, with the failure that the wisdom failure has given me is that there's not a lock play anywhere. Like you look at forward, say, well, I can play the Napoli guys, but it's okay if I play Real Madrid. Midfielder, well, Zielinski seems okay, but not that much, and there is not a single lock. So that means that you don't have to be very creative to a GPP. Just play the good guys with upside. You're probably going to be different. I don't feel anyone is going to be highly owned. Maybe Osimhen is going to be highly owned because I don't know, because he's in crazy form. But I mean, I just feel that we have mentioned almost everybody that can play. So
Yeah.
I think for GPP, the best way to do is just stack a team. Just stack a team and get if you get Napoli, get the 3 forwards, as you said. You can put one at the midfielder, and maybe play Sambanguisa. I don't know, but or Di Lorenzo, I guess. We never mentioned that. So just stack a team and get 2 other players for other team, and you'll be good to go. I feel that a Napoli stack is going to be popular. Real Madrid stack always popular, but who knows, right? So
yeah, I agree with that. I would echo that there is no locks on this slate.
Yeah,
so keep that in your head, that you need to know that there are no locks on this slate for sure. And then pay attention to the lineups when they come out in formations. Like, don't get married to what you're going to do before you see how the teams are lining up. We usually get a surprise or two. So just be prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in a slate like this, where's our edge going to be? Andrew Jennison says, go Napoli. I think a lot of people are going to be Napoli fans tomorrow. But, maybe these situations where we're looking like if Rui and Zielinski are on the field together, maybe try to make your decisions based on that. So the 11s will be very important. And maybe our edge just going to be, feeling a little bit better about a certain player's role, maybe ignoring just the name and previous performances and focusing on this single match. If that's it, yeah, like Luis says, we did cover just about everyone. I've been scrolling through. If you've been watching on YouTube, I've been scrolling through our RotoWire cheat sheet. So you're going to want to do rotowire.com/soccer trial if you're not a member already. It's like a 2-day free trial. If you have any respect for your personal time, this is just such a valuable tool. Everything is within 1 click away. Everything that you need to be successful in soccer DFS. You can click a player to see their game log. You can go up, scroll up, and look at like this. I really like this tool. So if you want to, maybe you don't see Napoli play much, you can go and click the Serie A and then go to like their team trends, and you can see, player minutes and who's taking shots and all of that stuff. So join, and then you can join our Discord. We talk about everything in Discord, Interleague, Liga MX, a lot of really good discussion, I think. So we'd love to see you there. Otherwise, I think we should have a video for the Wednesday slate, but we're going to have to negotiate a time on that. Let us know if you have any questions. You can find us on Twitter. And yeah, cheers, everyone. Have a good one. Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks, guys. Good luck, everybody.
Good luck.